friends, it's Trace and welcome back to another vlog. Pardon the hair. I'm trying out new parting methods to style and dry my hair and I think it's working. So it's gonna look a little wonky, and it also, I think it's a little damp, but that's fine because we're cooking, so it doesn't really matter. But I thought I'd start off this vlog. It is Tuesday. I meant to start to you all on a Monday, but Monday was sad day, so we didn't do that. But this vlog is me giving, is part of a new series on my channel that I want to do, where I give books that I love or kind of love or haven't really picked up in a while a second chance to see if I want to keep reading them, continue on with the series, keep them in my shelves, or just unhaul them. I do have quite a few of those books on here. I did start, you know, the normal boom that happens when you start booktube is you buy a bunch of books. So that's what happened. But the first book that I'm going to start the series off with is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I read this first when it first came out. I have done a full book review for, so I'll leave that link down below if y'all want to see baby Therese doing her thing. I might even throw up a clip on here if I feel generous, but I enjoyed this book when it first came out. I think I gave it a 4 or 5 out of 5 stars. But now that I've had some time to think about it, I don't know if I actually enjoyed the book or if I just got caught up in the hype. I know a lot of my friends who have this book have also had pretty mixed reviews about it. And so I'm giving it a second chance because I don't know if I'll be continuing on with the series since it's been so long. This is a YA high fantasy novel based off of, I believe, West African fantasy, where the Orishans have lost all their magic due to one fateful day. That is until Zele finds herself with a little hint of magic one day, and it's now up to her to bring magic back, or it's gone forever and ever and ever. I'm only about 50 pages into this book, not too far. It's a Tuesday, so I probably won't get much reading done tonight. It is bachelor night, so yeah. But I will let you guys know when I get more reading done. But until then, hope you all enjoy this video. Thursday. Yes, I'm chilling in my car in front of my office. I need a break from the screen. I've been staring at a screen so long these past couple days. Ugh. But I didn't get a chance to read a ton yesterday. Yesterday was a bit of a tizzy emotionally. It's been a bit of a tizzy emotionally in general these past couple days, so I have been feeling a little bit drained. Doesn't help, it's also the time of the month, so I'm everywhere. But I did get a chance I am reading a little bit right now at lunch. I'm about 200 pages in. I'm enjoying it. I can see why I enjoyed it a lot. It's a very quick and easy read. There's not a lot of complicated kind of aspects to it. And the characters are not archetypes, but they're personalities are ones that you would see very often in a lot of other works, so they feel very familiar. Also, let's look at my hair really quickly because it refreshed really well. It's a little poofy and a little bit like a little bit of frizz, but it refreshed really well today, and I'm kind of happy. But anyway, right now my issue is that while they are relatable, I don't find myself particularly attached to any of them. They all, while different, they all still feel very flat. Again, I'm only 200 pages in, I'm not even at the climax yet, but they all still feel very flat and just not, like I can't see myself ever choosing a side or choosing a character that I will just love and get attached to, which is a problem for me with a lot of books. Not a lot, but the books who have this issue are books that I tend to not want to gravitate towards or continue towards because I love characters. Characters are everything for me. Yeah, and then the world building as well. I'm 200 pages in, so by now I feel like I should have a feel for the world building. I feel like I should have a fairly decent grasp of the world and how it looks and how it functions, and I feel like as of right now it still feels a little bit of a blank slate. Like if I were to draw it in, I could give you like general shapes and maybe a couple colors. Like if I were to describe it as a painting, I could probably give like a couple shapes and a few colors, but I couldn't like give you details. And for that as well, it also makes the rest of the plot and everything seem kind of forgettable, because this world, because the plot is so heavily focused on how the world is built and how it functions. So I feel like with that, it just loses a lot of that stuff that we need to make it feel like a very believable story. I do know that there are a couple romances going into this. I have read this before. I do know that we kind of have like a Zuko situation with the bad guy. So I am looking forward to those and seeing kind of how that's done. But from my memory of Anan and his journey in this first book, he's the Zuko character. I am not anticipating it very well, just because he flip-flops between sides so often that it doesn't feel as much of like an internal struggle as it did with, like, say, someone like Zuko, who does flip-flop sides just a little bit throughout the series, and it doesn't feel very complete in terms of setting him up to be kind of like the Zuko figure with this great redemption, because he flip-flops. So it feels almost, I do want to say, a little bit comical in the sense that he doesn't really know where he wants to go, but he doesn't have that same kind of strong resolve that Zuko did in the beginning of the series, where he was all about hunting the Avatar and proving himself. To me, it feels like Anan is lost in the beginning, and to see him flip-flop so much feels like this portion of his journey should be later on in the book and not so early in the beginning, because by now, with this flip-flopping, we should be expecting him to join the band of misfits, so to speak, in the second book. And I feel like how he's written implies that his journey will take him throughout the 3 books. But that's just me. I haven't gotten to the part where he does start flip-flopping a little bit, so we'll see. I am going to read a little bit more. I don't know what time it is. Last I checked, it was like 3:20. I mean 1:20. 1:20. So I'll catch up with you guys tonight. I am editing a video tonight, so I don't know if I'll get a chance to read a ton. It is my November wrap-up, so those tend to be a little longer than my normal shorter videos, but if I do get a chance to read, I will update you guys. I should have this book done, I suppose, by the weekend, I want to say, just because it is quicker paced, and once I get into it, I do get into it, so I'll let you guys know. Hey everyone, so it is now Friday. I'm about halfway through the book, I want to say. We just got past the part where Zele successfully reanimates a bunch of dead people who had died in this arena for a fight, and they win the fight. I haven't had a chance to read anything today. I did have, it's Friday, so I do have lunch with my boyfriend. It's part of a thing that we do every week because I like quality time. So don't ever really have time to read during those on Fridays. But I did read quite a bit yesterday while my video that went out today was exporting. And I don't know, I feel like the concept of it, there's nothing wrong with the story, and aside from like just the fact that I don't find the characters super, like, I'm not attached to them in any way. My biggest issue at the current moment with the story, well, this is the thing though, aside from like that, I don't have any other issues. Like, it's going the natural like 5 arc situation. We get the hero's journey situation again, and then we get to, like, it just follows like the natural journey and whatnot, but something about the story of itself just doesn't feel necessarily the most memorable. There we go, that's the word I'm looking for. Memorable. It feels, I need to move that. Sorry, I'm like staring at the wall here, but you can tell that, like, I'm moving too, but this, I can't move. This is too far from this, and it just looks weird, so I think I'm gonna fix that before I go. But anyway, I just feel like the story isn't very memorable. I can tell you what's happened, but there's just no, oh, there we go, I figured it out. As of right now, the story's fine. Like, the characters are doing okay. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're following a flow of things, and I do have my issues with the characters, as I mentioned in my last clip, I believe. But my biggest issue with the book as a whole, as it stands, is that there's just no emotional weight. Like, I could tell you exactly word for word what happened by the book, like what has happened in the book, but at the end of the day, I just don't feel any emotional weight toward the story, the characters. I just feel like they are there, they're just doing what they're meant to do. There's no, like, they're gonna lose magic forever. So you feel like there should be some emotional weight, there should be some struggle, something, but it feels lacking. There's none of that emotional weight. I don't feel a hold to the characters, to the plot, their plight. So it just feels like I'm reading a book and I'm not very intrigued by it at all. But like, in the basic formats of it, there's nothing wrong with the story. The plot flows well, the prose is doing really good. I don't like, there's just no emotional weight. And I feel like that's what I feel like everyone that I have seen that has like mentioned, like reread the series and kind of given it a very, I guess, weak rating, like a 3 or a 2, you know, I think below a 4 or a 5. That is probably where it feels like it's lacking, on top of like the relationships. But I'm gonna read a little bit more tonight. I do have plans when I get to my boyfriend's. I'm going to finish up a cover letter for a couple things, adjust my, I want to apply to at least like 1 or 2 more jobs tonight, and then catch up on my CC. I have, I think, 6 or 7 videos left without CC, and I want to be caught up before I leave for vacation on the 27th, and then just have a new, like, be behind by like maybe 2 or 3 videos that I can catch up the week I get back, and then be caught up for the new year. I also want to work on my bullet journal, so it's just a lot of things I want to do tonight. Do I have the time? Probably not. But we will find out. We'll find out. Again, we have another nice hair day. Let me just show you guys kind of an easier sight from here. Welcome to my bathroom, my humble little bathroom. But it's a really nice, like, it's not like a terrible kind of wash day. I think my hair with the scalp scrubber is doing really well. We get a lot of the buildup out. I do think though I need to get a smaller, a different Denman brush. As of right now, I have one of the dupes, which is like the 9 row, and I think I want to get like a 7 row, just because I'm not getting as much tension like right here at the top and then at the ends. So I think that's why it's like not as like curly and it feels like kind of flat. But I'm really liking how my hair's going. I'm getting my roots touched up on the 18th. And for any of you guys who are looking for a scalp massager, I guess I got this one from Ulta. It was like, I think 13 bucks. $9 actually, but yeah. Highly recommend these guys. I'm sorry there's a hair. Oh my god, there's a hair. Ignore that. I'm so sorry. But I got it from Ulta. It was like 13 bucks, I want to say. I'm gonna clean it, but what I do with it is I scrub it, like I put my shampoo on, or hair scrub it in, and then I put my shampoo, like rub it in, and then like take a scalp massager and just like get in there until like kind of like, not the itchiness, but like the product feels gone. And then when I get my conditioner in there, I like run. That's how I detangle as well. I should think it's helping out the curls so much, which is so nice because I was a bit of in a curl slump for about a month or so. But yes, I should be reading a little bit more tonight. I think it's probably what I'm gonna do to start off my night, instead of just like, what's the word I'm looking for? Instead of getting right into the nitty-gritty work. I sound really vain right now, but I look really good. Like, really good. I'm sorry, it's been a minute since I've had this kind of confidence because my hair has been like so up the wazoo. But dang, I look really good. Like, yeah. But I'll catch up with you guys probably like on Sunday. I should be almost done with the book by then, so. Hey friends, it is now Monday. I was actually really busy over the weekend, and so I didn't get a chance to really update y'all. I did get to read quite a bit though. I think I'm almost done with the book. I'll probably finish it tonight, if anything. But to catch up with y'all on Saturday, so, oh, I should probably tell that. But it was my boyfriend's best friend's birthday. Her birthday is on Monday, so we went out and celebrated on Saturday. We went out to a nice little restaurant. Thankfully, it wasn't super packed. And then we went to another pretty cool bar. Very expensive bar. But as for the book, let me just grab it here really quickly. Like I said, I'm almost done. I'll probably finish it tonight if I'm being a little proactive. I kind of want to write tonight, so actually I can read. It's fine. I can write after I read. I genuinely don't know why I gave it a 5 when I first read it. I think this is definitely a case of I just got hawked up on the hype and I didn't want to be the one person being like, oh, it was okay. I think in terms of the writing, it's decent. We get to picture a lot of things, but it's just all very vague. A lot of the things that she's talking about or that's being described don't come with a lot of descriptors. It feels like I'm filling in most, if not all, of the blanks of the world and the world building. Let's talk about the romance. So I know that the romance was marketed as the Sutaro that we never got, but this was the Sutaro that we never wanted. Basically, spoilers, because this is in fact a reread, but basically it just, I don't know, y'all, it's like they spent weeks hating each other, absolutely weeks of like being scared of each other and hating each other. And then when Zale gets saved once, she's like, maybe he's not just a bad guy, and starts to fall for him super quickly. There was no like reservations into it. There was no her doubting anything. She just jumped headfirst into it, which is like, good for you, girl, but also what? So it just doesn't make any kind of sense to me how that romance panned out or what made the romance so intriguing for anyone. I feel like what the romance needed was to be stretched out a lot more. Definitely more, I guess the proper term would be like more pages. We needed them to interact more. That wasn't them teasing or hating each other, and we needed them to interact more on the sense that they just had more softer moments, and maybe in a different book, genuinely in a different book. He just flips so easily, and then flips again, and then flips back, and it's just, there's no read on him at all. And there's no, I guess, struggle really, because we know where he's going to switch just from him being on the bad side or being the antagonist. He was never the antagonist. It's not like Zuko where you hated him for so long and then ended up liking him eventually. It's not great writing. Like I said, I'm going to finish this probably tonight while I'm like waiting for dinner to cook. So I will let you guys know. But chances are it's looking closer and closer to a 2 or a 1 star for me, and will be unhauled in the near future, because I don't know. Like, I think in terms of it being a movie, it'll translate a little better just because the descriptions were so vague that there's a lot for you to fill in visually. But in terms of a book, I am a little confused as to what happened here. Definitely a book that needed to be ironed out quite a bit more, I'm not gonna lie. But like I said, I'll update you guys soon, and I will get back to y'all when I finish, or probably throw out some little beat clip or something of me, chilling and doing my thing. But yeah. more. I am really close to the end actually, so we're finishing that probably while I eat dinner. It's just it's not even like a Zutara fanfiction, it's just an Avatar fanfic, which isn't a bad thing. Love the Avatar. We all know this. I am writing my own kind of Avatar-esque story as we speak. But in terms of like following the plot, like Hiro is found, we have like the two little sidekicks, the thing that they ride on, kind of lost magic or missing magic situation with an oppressive kind of government. We have a one-shot kind of, we can all destroy the Fire Nation / bring back magic on this day. And then we have like a very like Aang getting shocked up the back. How do we? Yeah, Aang getting like shocked up the back and kind of like losing their touch to magic situation. It's too familiar in the sense that there's no like huge deviation. But I will let you guys know my final thoughts once I've finished. Again, I think this would have made it through. But it would have been an amazing story if it had gone through maybe like a couple more drafts. Alright, finish the book. Gonna give it 2. I think he deserves it 2. I think there's a lot of potential there. Lots of good for the character. I really like the ending sequence. I think that's kind of what has saved it from me giving it a 1. But everything that I said still stands. Anon was a very weak character. I didn't find myself really particularly attached to anyone. Magic system felt lacking. I know that they're still finding magic, but as of right now, only like one generation, several generations before, sorry, excuse the little thing. Several generations before them have been the ones who have had magic, so they have a understanding of how it works and how it functions. But in this case, it just doesn't seem like it's there. Anon was a very weak antagonist. It didn't make sense for him to be an antagonist. There was no desire from him. He wasn't a set antagonist in my eyes. It's not like with Zuko, which is whom he is based off of, where he does flip-flop. But he flip-flops in the sense that he feels lost. With Anon, he just feels like you know where it's gonna go. So I wasn't a fan of that. I wasn't a fan of that romance either. It just didn't make much sense to me. There was no build-up, no development. Even the other romance with Amari and Zane. So Zane? I want to say Zane. It could be Zane. I'll throw up his name here because I don't know how to pronounce it properly. It felt very flat. It just, I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of things about this book that can go well. But like I said, I feel like it just needs more. So, 2 out of 5 stars. I will not be continuing on with this series. And I will be unhauling this book and hopefully it'll find a better home somewhere else. But yeah. I don't know. It was definitely one of those books that I just enjoyed for the hype. Or I think I was more scared of the hype. Because I was just like a new booktuber, I didn't have a lot of followers, and I didn't want that to be like the one thing to get the people stopped listening to me for, or refused to listen to me because of that. So I gave it a 5. But yeah, it's definitely a book that just got a lot of hype. Like I said, I think had it gotten a lot more edits, it probably would make more sense and be a little bit more cohesive. But it did not. So, but that is it for this video. Sorry for the little depresso note we left it on, but if you guys enjoyed this video and want me to do more kind of like second chance videos where I like discuss favorite books of mine or high rated books of mine that I don't really know why I did it, or maybe you guys want me to reread a book that I really enjoyed so we can get some positive notes, let me know in the comments below. But if you guys enjoyed this, hit like, subscribe, and comment. I do post videos out every week. Until then, hopefully you guys are having a wonderful week. But I think it should be going up on Monday. Next Monday. But if not, hopefully your week is better for you. And the holidays are coming up soon, so hopefully you guys are having a wonderful holiday surrounded by family whom love and accept you for who you are. And if you are not in that position, I hope that the day goes by quickly for you so you can return to people who do love and support you no matter what. But until then, bye.